Yes.
They,
Okay.
mhm,
Okay.
have them sign in and we'll go grab as soon as you get through your normal
Okay.
length of reading and everything. And then when you do this, then we'll go grab the form, and bring that to
Bring it
you.
up to me. Okay.
Yep. Unless
Okay.
nobody else will sign it.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes we shut that off on us.
Okay. Okay. We ready to start? This is a regularly scheduled meeting at the hearing of the Caldwell Hearing Examiner. Today's date is Wednesday, November 30th, and we are starting at 1:30 p.m. In accordance with Idaho state statutes, hearing examiners may be appointed by the governing board for hearing applications for subdivisions, special use permits, variances, and requests for rezones that do not require a comprehensive plan amendment. There are two types of decisions made for land use applications. The first is the legislative decisions, which have widespread impact, including applications like zoning map amendments or rezones. The policy choices that are made during a rezone essentially affect all citizens. Legislative decisions made by the hearing examiners are in the form of recommendation, which is then forwarded to City Council for approval or denial. The second type of decision is a quasi-judicial, which are localized in the application, affecting an individual or particular group of citizens rather than the public at large. Quasi-judicial decisions are made on applications like variances, special use permits, preliminary plat time extensions after the first request, and plan unit development requests when said plan unit development requests are not part of a preliminary plat. Quasi-judicial decisions made by the hearing examiner are in the form of approval or denial, with the exception of a plan unit development request that are part of a preliminary plat request. In that instance, decisions made by the hearing examiner are in the form of a recommendation, which is then forwarded to City Council for approval or denial. Public oral testimony will be taken from those in attendance who have signed the sign-up sheet to speak, which is available at the front of the room. When testifying, you can come up to the podium, speak into the microphone, and state your full name and address. All comments should be addressed to the hearing examiner and should be relevant to the application. Hearing examiner decisions are based solely on testimony and evidence presented at the hearing and the application criteria specified in city codes and state law. Any decisions or any conditions of approval may be appealed to the City Council in accordance with the Caldwell City Code and Idaho statutes. All meetings are recorded in the MP3 format and may be made part of the official record of the hearing. The hearing will proceed in the following order. Presentation by city's professional staff, our planners, to describe the application request, summarize the review analysis findings, and give the city's recommendation. Presentation by the applicant or the applicant's authorized representative with a maximum time limit of 10 minutes. Public testimony is then taken from those in support, those in neutral, and those are in opposition. Each will be given time up to 3 minutes, and then the applicant or the applicant's representative will be permitted for a 5-minute rebuttal time. After rebuttal testimony is given, the public hearing portion of the meeting is closed, and no new oral or written testimony will be allowed unless there's a vote by the governing board or commission to reopen testimony. We request that everyone treats all parties, so be good back there, treat all parties with fairness and respect. No unruly behavior, such as clapping, whistling, booing, or harassing remarks is prohibited. Idaho statutes requires that taking of written minutes for all of its meetings. Therefore, we ask that all cell phones be turned off, silence is the time throughout the duration of the meeting. And with that, I will start the public hearing. So, number one, we have the consent calendar, and this is to approve the October 27th and November 9th hearing examiner minutes. I believe one was signed already. How did we want to proceed with that? So October 27th has been approved, and November 9th, we're going to have it be continued. Number 2 on the agenda is the old business, and we don't have anything. And now number 3 is to our new business item. Action item, case number SUB 22-000036. A request by Doug Corsimer on behalf of Hemlock Development LLC for a preliminary plat. Staff, would you like to start with your presentation? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. Let's see. All right. Today we have a preliminary plat for Hemlock Development. Project Quest is the preliminary plat of Hemlock Development at Middleton. This will be 3 commercial lots. For location, we are to the south of the Ustick and Middleton intersection. Sorry. All right. So we are south of the Ustick Middleton intersection. We are looking at a 7.8 acre parcel. This is also south of the Breckenridge Apartments over of north of Ustick. For the details, we are looking to divide parcel R308770160 into 3 lots. These will be used for commercial uses. Lot 1 is 1 building, single level of 7 separate units. This will focus on retail, mainly food retail. There will be 2 drive-throughs on the northern and southern portion, or there'll be a drive-through on the northern portion of the building and the southern portion of the building. For Lot 2, we're looking at 4 separate buildings. These will be office flex space, and Lot 3 will have 4 buildings, and this will be enclosed RV storage. All of these uses are permitted uses in the C3 zone. Here we have the proposed development and landscape plan. The retail is to the left, the office, I believe, is to the north, and the RV is to the south/east. One thing that staff has noticed today actually was that we're going to need an updated landscape plan before we go to council, as the parking lot is missing planter islands, and there needs to be 1 per 12 parking spaces.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's something that the applicant and staff can work on before council comes around.
Sure.
Existing conditions, we're looking at a C3 service commercial zone. They're sticking with the C3 service commercial zone. To the north, south, and west, we have C3 service commercial, and to the east is R1 low density residential. Here is a picture of the subject site. To the north, we have 2 empty parcels, and then north across Ustick is the Breckenridge Apartments. To the south, we have the current new storage units that just came in. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. To the west, we have farmland, and to the east, we have Monarch subdivision. Comprehensive plan. They have a designation of commercial service that their uses here fit exactly with that plan. Public services, everything's available. For agency comments, we received comments from engineering department and Compass. Neither of those had any issues with this request. We received no public comments about this development. For the staff analysis, we find that this project is consistent with the 2040 comprehensive plan. The proposed land use is an allowed use with this subdivision. The proposed design will meet all required setbacks, parking, not landscaping yet, but that'll be updated, and building height requirements. It is in harmony with and consistent with 7 goals and 10 policies of the 2040 comprehensive plan, and there were no objections from public agencies. And just on screen, here's the criteria for subdivision, which we have met. Staff recommends approval subject to the conditions as specified in section 9 of the staff report. And just so we can see, here are the conditions. And I stand for questions.
Thank you, staff. I think Alex and I have gone through all the questions I had. I did have a question for Rob, though. I'm just curious how we're handling pressurized irrigation. Are they going to be on drip system for their minimal landscaping, or do they need to do a full-blown PI system?
Um, Thank you, Madam Hearing Examiner. I'm not exactly sure what the intent was for the development. I know that every development in Caldwell is responsible to uh, build their own pressure irrigation system or tie into a system that may be nearby that they can utilize. Upgrades in that case may be necessary if they're tying into a different system. But whether they're doing minimal landscaping or extensive landscaping, irrigation is required, and that is the responsibility of the developer.
Okay. That are all the questions I have at the time. Would the applicant like to come up and present? Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
So my name is Doug Korsmeyer. The address is 17848 Middleton Road, Nampa 83687. And I am Doug Korsmeyer, principal of Hemlock Developers, LLC. Um, As you all may be aware, I've been under development, which I've worked with many in planning and zoning, for Eustic Storage, trying to get that CO, hopefully within another few week period of time. It's pretty much near its final state to be able to have that inspected for CO. This 7.8 acre parcel, we are excited about that, where we will plat that, as it's been stated, into 3 separate lots, with what we've designed as being things that I think could serve the community well. We've heard from neighborhood meetings as well as just conversations that I've had with people that having a retail element would be of appeal. And as crazy as Middleton Road is with traffic, I think the people, the homeowners and such that drive through that area would benefit from there being mostly food-related businesses. Interestingly enough, I met a guy just recently who said he wanted to put a barber shop in the area. So, I mean, I kind of, question if that's going to be the intended use, because I really first and foremost think that the community would benefit from food-related businesses, whether it be a coffee shop or whether it be a sandwich shop or pizza by the slice or whatever. And then having drive-throughs at either end, I think is very appealing, because the flow and the design of what we set up for that lot number 1, I think could serve good use. And so that is the intent of what we're doing right now, to be building that setup. And then furthermore, the office flex space, which is lot number 2, that has high applicability. Part of what drove this decision is my wife actually had a boutique, and she lived in, dealt with this exact setup, which is really what a mirror is of what I've taken from this. We have encountered even the popularity of these type of units where we've tried to even find them, and if even they do exist. One recent one, my son, we have 6 children, my one son has Amazon store business and some other things. There was a waiting list of 40 people for that such a space. So it's exciting that that type of footprint of space we think can serve well. Obviously, just like you can see the street appeal of Eustic Storage, this will have the same look and feel and actually be done up to be looking nice. And then another need that I do here and that we're meeting is the lot number 3, and that is the enclosed RV storage. There'll be obviously lighting within this storage. There'll be power, 20 amp circuit power in this storage. And then I'm debating, there'll be 12 by 14 roll-up doors. The debate that I'm just having with myself is that do I want to have automated doors? I'm using the Janus 1000 series doors, and they have an automated feature where you literally sit in your vehicle and push the button and it's auto open, or you get out of the car and do the roll-up. But that's about one of my only final decisions that I have to make for that. But we think that that'll serve a good need for the community as well.
Great. Thanks, Doug. I do have a few follow-up questions. So what are your plans with lots 1 and 2? Are those going to be individually owned? Are you going to condo them so they can be sold individually? Are they going to be under one ownership?
Good question. So right now, all of the dirt I own outright free and clear. And then the development right now, Hemlock Development is actually going to be building all 3. It's already all been agreed, and I've been speaking to my excavator about this. The right way to do this is we're going to do all the flat work for this entire project as one. And then when I did submit my plans, you saw that I put a phase plan, but the phase plan was really tied to vertical, not to horizontal. And so at the moment, just like I own 100% of used storage outright, and I'm going to retain that. And obviously, there'll be eventually a phase two of the building of used storage behind, because the front two buildings are just the first phase. There'll be a second phase eventually once I get probably 55, 60% utilization of used storage. I'll be starting that second phase. So much like this, I would probably hold on my own for sure lot number 3, and then lot number 2. The only lot that I may contemplate selling off would be lot number 1. But to keep it within all one footprint and not actually platting those individual units, I think is going to be cleaner. Because I think about if I were to sell, and you have one tenant that actually occupies from a meets and bounds, one of the parcels or one of the lots, within that, say, lot number 1. To me, it just seems not as clean as me saying, okay, I'm putting it up for sale, and now you get a little strip center of 7 units in total. So long-winded answer to say, I would say no, we're not going to divide this out into a condo structure. It's just going to be separate lots, fully entitled and owned outright.
And if that did, that'd be a separate hearing application process. As far as lot 3, I see, is it gonna have any on-site management, or tell me a little bit more about your security? I know you touch base on lighting and cameras. How's that gonna work? How are people gonna access? Is that 24 hours, or are there gonna be certain timeframes?
Sure. So if you've driven by Ustic Storage, it's actually kind of exciting. I'm actually creating a remote managed facility. In fact, it sounds kind of corny, but one of the things that I think is most exciting about driving up to Ustic Storage is there's no center kiosk that you type a code to get in through the gate access. Utilizing Janus, which is a company that makes a technology called Noki. You may or may not heard of that, but actually there's no key locks on my entire facility. So everything that I utilize, it's termed as an unmanned facility or a remote managed facility. I will have a manager that oversees it, but it's not 7 by 24 that he's there. Basically, if you wanted to rent a unit, you can actually rent a unit with your phone or your computer at night, or there's a call center that I'll have, always the phone number that they call and just have the call center assist them. Or when they roll up to the storage, when they even have a unit rented, they will have a fob that they could purchase for $20, or they just pull out their phone, and I can even show you the app on my phone. And literally, you just basically pull up your app and click gate, and the gate will automatically open from in your car. And then to exit, you just push the button. Much like the man doors that are in the climate controlled building, it will sense you coming and actually it'll basically either auto sense with the fob, or you push the button, the gate unlocks. And when they're in the climate control building, they go up to their unit, they tap the little button to activate it, and then they use their phone, push a button, and then it just unlocks. So 0 locks at all, which is perfect for a storage industry, because when there's overlocks of people not paying rent and that, there's no double lock over and all hassle. Like if somebody was even 2 days late or a day late on their rent, the system, I don't even have to do it. The system automatically locks them out until their rent's paid. And I mean, there's just benefit after benefit of this solution. And then there'll be a QR code sign on the front of the storage where literally they can sit in their car, click on the QR code, that'll take them right to our site, and that'll allow them to sit in their car and even book a unit from that. Or they can go into the vestibule, which is a little office that I have, and there'll be instructions with a little even monitor where they push a button and it'll play audible video for them to even, be told how to do it. And then again, if they get stuck, they call the 800 number that's there.
Wow, self-sufficient, sounds like.
So,
great.
yeah.
I think my final question for you is, I'm assuming you went and read through the staff report and the conditions of approval. Are you in agreement with those conditions?
I am, yes.
Okay.
And everything that I've had from this point, working with the city has been great, so
Great.
I don't see a problem.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Well,
Hearing examiner,
yes.
staff would like to add 2 conditions, as long
Okay.
as applicant also agrees. For condition 10, we have applicant shall provide revised landscape plan showing parking lot landscaping prior to city council.
Perfect.
And then
gonna ask
number
about that.
11 is applicant shall provide colored elevations of the buildings indicating all materials and colors prior to city council.
That's great. I was gonna follow up with that.
Yep.
Has staff seen the elevations yet that you're proposing?
If you mind, if you may, I brought this with me.
No.
In fact, have you seen, you guys have seen this one, right? So this is actually, my architect did this up in color, which just makes it so clear.
Okay,
The
I've
hard
seen this,
corner
yeah.
and the other partial of these I sold off. This is the development
Okay.
we're talking about.
Okay.
And then I have elevation samples that my architect and I have
Okay.
been working through.
I think we need to render this in as an exhibit, correct, Alex? Have you seen these?
Probably not.
This is probably what he wants, for that condition before city
Even that
council.
he hasn't, he probably have not, I'm sure.
Okay.
Staff has not seen those yet. Those can be entered as an exhibit and added to the staff report.
What exhibit? Do I need to call out what exhibit they are, or?
Yes.
And then I have it
What's that?
broke out,
Okay, this will be,
the lot is broken out separate in color, so it's kind of an eye chart all on
Okay.
one, but if you want these in color, I can email these to you guys too.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, I'll take.
Okay.
I'll only grab
Actually,
that. Oh,
I think we do, I have to hold on to, can we make him a copy, or what do we need to do?
If you wanna hold it, you can hold it too.
Let's hold on to
I'm
it.
not sure, the only reason I say is that the design, so it's gonna have a good design, it's either gonna be, the fronts will be either stone and glass or brick and glass, we just haven't finalized the look.
Oh, these were improved in Meridian?
Huh?
These were approved in Meridian for another project?
Oh, well, my architect that I'm working with, yeah, he was sending me samples
Oh,
of
okay.
how we can
Okay.
see from an elevation.
We
Okay.
can return those back to Doug.
That's
and
fine, Doug,
then-
we'll return back to you. Yeah, but, this would be great and sufficient for that
But I
condition.
can get those as an email to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you, Doug. Send it to Alex. Thank you so
And
much.
If you wanna hold that, you can hold that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it doesn't look like we have anyone signed up in, neutral or in opposition, other than Doug. So I don't know if you'd like a rebuttal time, or we can close the public hearing, and finish. What do you think?
I can rebuttal myself.
Yeah, if you want.
Can I rebuttal the things that aren't going right that I've learned how to not do the second time around of my development? No.
You only get 3 minutes.
Yeah, I could do more than 3, but it's just things I've learned to make efficiency, and one is doing all the flat work at once.
Sure.
And then power plan, I know we've talked about those types of things. I've got a good 3-phase power plan, cause these, lot number 2 will have 3-phase power, and just things that I've already thought through,
Great.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Okay, based on that, I will close the public hearing and testimony time and render my recommendation. So based on the findings and fact, conclusions of law under and contained with herein, the Caldwell Hearing Examiner recommends case number SUB 22-000036, a request for a preliminary plat for Hemlock Development at Middleton in a C3 Service Commercial Zone, be approved. So, thanks, Doug. Get those conditions over to Alex before your city council.
Madam Hearing Examiner, you have to add the conditions to those.
Oh, I do need to add? Oh, okay. Can you tell me what I need to add again, Alex?
I have them written down. I can bring them up to you.
Thank you. That'd be great. Do I need to reopen then or can I just read the conditions? Okay, okay. First, the PZ 1000 exhibit was not submitted, so we will take that off. And then we will add the 2 additional conditions of approval. This will be number 10, applicant shall provide a revised landscape plan showing a parking lot landscaping prior to city council. And condition number 11, applicant shall provide colored elevations of the buildings indicating all materials, colors prior to city council. You'll get a copy of all this, yes. Oh. No, I think public hearing, no. Let's finish the public hearing, then we'll, therefore, I think that's everything on the agenda, so I will close our public hearing for today. And that's it? That's it? Okay. What was your question, Doug? Oh, I gotta wait. Yes. Yes. Yep.